What's the mother effing deal, guys? Welcome to the den. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Welcome to the den. I'm glad that you all could join me this evening. I'm your host, Ed Honcho, man, and sometimes you take things for granted, and I'm still keeping the 30 days a den going in, but I'm not blaming it all on my fault. I mean, we had a 45-second stream yesterday, so technically it counts. But there was some bullshit that happened yesterday. They came out and fixed the shit. Apparently they had to put a filter in and do some other shit with the line. I don't freaking know. But yeah, man. So, a few things we're going to discuss tonight. It is Friday. Friday means it's Talking Dirty After Dark. And we're going to discuss open relationships. But if you're not familiar with the Den is the best conversation on the internet. And the reason why that is so is because of you, the great people. Yes, you people. That make it such a wonderful and entertaining conversation every evening. And I thank you for being here. I appreciate you for taking the time. Don't ask me what I'm doing. It's none of your damn business. I appreciate you for taking the time to be here. A little glass stirring ASMR for you if you like clangety sounds that turns on your level of eroticism. Welcome to the Den ASMR. Enjoy yourselves. All right, that's enough of that nonsense. But like I said, I'm your host, Ed Honcho, man. Let's get into it, man. So yesterday, like I said, some technical difficulties. I apologize. It is what it is. For those of you face mask use, I finally resolved. It was such a minor thing. I mean, that's just my fault for procrastinating, trying to figure it out on my own, and realizing when I figured out what the solution was, it was so fucking stupid. But I guess I just was not being observant. It is what it is. Like I said, let's see. We got joined us tonight, man, of all the wonderful people in the den, and then let's get into some good conversation. We're talking about open relationships. It seems to be a thing that's happening a lot more and more, especially here in America. Is that something you would entertain? Do you think it's a bad deal with so many people venturing off into other aspects of life? Would it be right for certain people to entertain it? I got my thoughts. I got some good and bad thoughts, and I'll get into that, and I'll tell you why. And my own personal feelings about it. But let's see what we got going on. We got Brenda Williams, Coltrane, K Grace, only one live. What's the motherfucking deal? Jennifer Smith, what's the motherfucking deal? Even though she said she'll have to catch us at 4 a.m. Miss Bell, Shannon, I might be a bot Jones, Shelly, I'm a contrarian long. Infinity, what's the motherfucking deal? Jess Sarah, who is healing up, and hopefully she's healing up smoothly. Brandon 335 in the building. Sweetberry, who's not really the sweetest of berries. And Tulio, I have you all down for the early bird pistachios. And like I said, the bot is kind of tripping. I'm going to try something different. Let me see something here. Let me just try something. Because I'm using a cloud bot instead of the normal bot because there's some issues with authenticating through Google with the normal bot that I use. So they have a cloud version. So I'm trying to use that to see if it operates the same way. No, let's get to it. Let me see if who I may have missed, but I did not intend to diss. 17 in the building. What's the motherfucking deal? Professor Trill, go take your ass. Professor Trill, he just had a birthday. Y'all notice ever since Professor Trill had his birthday, this nigga been going to sleep early, missing dens and shit. That's what happened when you start getting too old. You start going to sleep and shit. You get too tired. I'm trying to stay young forever. Shout out to Professor Trill, Jason S, Josh LaMel, what's the motherfucking deal? Misty, what's the motherfucking Misty? You got your name back. What's the motherfucking deal? Let's see. Let's see. Yes, you people. Lamont, what's the motherfucking deal? You say you also gonna get your treat, man. Hey, look, this is 2020, baby. It's a new decade, man. We trying to do some new shit, man. Lamont, what's the motherfucking deal? Dita Gamble, what's the motherfucking deal? Let me see. Let me make sure I ain't missing nobody. Man, look, Jack, you know how it goes. If I missed you, I ain't dish you. Let's get into it so we can open up the line here in just a few so you guys can call in and share your thoughts on tonight's topic and, whatever else is going on in the world. I moved yesterday's topic about the issues with the LGBT thing back to next week sometime. I was going to do it on Christmas Eve, but I know there's a couple other topics I want to talk about in those 2 days, so I think it'll be next Thursday. Christmas on Wednesday, right? So I think it'll be next Thursday. So open relationships, right? And I guess let's kind of differentiate because nowadays you've got all these new terms in which we have to associate shit with. So an open relationship is where both parties have free range hype. You can go do what you want to do, right? And when it comes down to that, I'm gonna say no. What? Wow. It changed. See, yeah, it's doing some old crazy shit because it switched it up and it told me. Let me look at it. Let me figure it out. Because it switched it up. It told me that the old PayPal was no longer valid, so I had to do the new PayPal shit. It's some shenanigans going on. Let me figure all the nonsense out while we're doing this. But the open relationship is where both parties have free range. Well, I've told y'all more than once. I'm a bit of a misogynist. I don't give a shit. I still love y'all. I'm not a woman hater. But I'm not with that shit. Now, if we're talking about polygamy, which I look at polygamy as me, Ed Honcho, the head honcho, and having multiple female counterparts. Hey, I'm all with that shit, right? I'm not trying to double dip in the same fucking bowl. You feel me? So like, I'm not with the whole, well, honey, you just go out there and you go hit the bar, you get loose, and hey, if you get goose, you just come on home and you bring it right back to that. I don't want that shit. You better take that shit and leave it wherever you got it from, right? Then now you're gonna say, hey, Honcho, it's a fucking double standard, man, and you're the man who say double standards are the worst standards, and absolutely they are. But hey, sometimes we're not all perfect. And I never said that I was, but I'm just being honest with you. I mean, that's what the dinner's about, being honest, being 100%, 100. Like, I'm not finna do it. You know what I'm saying? Now, and here's another thing too. Even when I say like with the multiple female part, like I'm not even with the like the lesbian shit. So I don't even want them really fucking with you. It's not like some shit like I want to have threesomes all day. No, I just want to, I would be okay with having appetizer sampler. I want to know which is which. And I treat them all fairly and equally. I guess you get all equal time. But now we live in this day and age though. But more and more people are getting these open relationships, and I'm wondering like, what is the purpose? Is sex the main thing? Can you really love somebody without primarily being focused on the sex, or is sex so important that it is a foundation in the relationship? Now we've had a lot of conversations in the den, and a lot of them around sex and sex related topics. I'm trying to figure this thing out. What's going on with this settings, I guess. What the fuck? I know I already did this shit. Let me try it again. Let me just do it like this. Because I know I fucking authenticated this fucking PayPal shit like yesterday because I saw the fucking message. And, let's see what it says here. But, and I think that, okay, so now it says it should be working now. Let's see. Yeah, it's saying that. I guess let's do both of them because I guess the other one might be crazy too. I don't know what the fuck they want. Let's do both of them. That should work. All right, cool. All right, so it should be connected now. Hopefully the PayPal is cooperating. But yeah, so like I'm saying, so I'm not with I guess it's a double standard in that sense. But again, like I say, hey, there's nothing wrong with having a little bit of variety. Some people do certain things better than others, and hey, nothing wrong with that, right? So. What's up, New Kenneth? What's the motherfucking deal? Trey James, what's the motherfucking deal? Man, look at it, boy. Look at that. Look at the whole thing green. Ain't no disappearing green on the scene. Look. So appreciate the love, 335. So yeah, look, it's finally working, right? Because the fucking shit used to be disappearing. Used to be half a cactus. It looked like I had a bunch of pimples or some shit. But yeah, and that's the thing. Like this, the society is changing, man. There is no regular, there's no normal these days. It's all kinds of fucked up. Shelly, we already had this discussion with you. Shelly want the money and she want all the benefits of it, but she don't want to do no work. So Shelly is not allowed in my polygamous cult compound since I've been called a cult leader, and I've already told y'all we be taking it to the farm. Shelly will not be invited. Whenever we have like a dead meet and greet at the farm, she can come, but she gonna have to get a hotel off site. She can't stay on the compound. All right, Miss Shonda, glad you could drop by. But so here's the deal, right? Can you get out of rotation? Oh no, absolutely not. But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. But in this day and age, right, if you have a certain particular belief, some people are all willy-nilly. Some people are what they call polyamorous. What's the one where everybody's with everybody? Panamanian, no, pansexual. But they fucking any and everything. You have people who are straight. You have people who are bi. You have all this stuff. So in this day and age, and I talk about black women a lot because let's be honest with you, black women, your opportunities are they're shrinking, right? I mean, if you're looking to be a straight black man, your opportunities are shrinking. They're getting slim. The same thing y'all always say, oh, they're all in jail. All the white women are taking them, which is not fucking true. What's the other one? You don't want to deal with baby mamas. You don't want to deal with all this. So, I mean, is your option, is it a better option? Hey, instead of not having one at all, maybe to share, maybe you got to share. Maybe you got to be a sister wife, right? Maybe you got to be a little bit of a, you got to get you a timeshare on the dick. Is that what it is? I mean, hey, today is your day. Tomorrow's her day. Y'all figure it out. Heidi, what's the motherfucking deal? John from NY, what's the motherfucking deal? That is... Did you see he's got the little campaign slogan and shit with it too, man? That shit was hilarious, man. But yeah, so like I say, it's a tough scene out there for black women, right? Y'all say y'all said, oh, we're the most hated, underappreciated, but most desired, and it's a lot of sayings that have been mixed up and swapped out and all this other stuff. So this is what I'm saying. Would you entertain it? Is it just about having sex? Is a relationship built on a stronger foundation than that? And you say, maybe you want somebody who is undying, who's loyal and committed to you. But can a person be loyal and committed to you, but yet still out having sex with other women? Or if you're a female, out having sex with other men? Because we've seen lots of marriages and relationships, right? That especially the old timers last for a long time, but there was a little hanky-panky going on the side. There was some deception going on the side. But yet those relationships stayed strong for the most part. They stayed together for the family or whatever you want to call it. So if you were to say, hey, you know what? Got this other kind of thing that I like a little bit. Let's make it one big happy family. Or, hey, I'm going to step out for a little bit. And the fact that your wife knows that you're stepping out. Or if you're female, your husband knows that you're stepping out. And they're okay with that. I mean, is that a thing? Now, I can understand if there were... I don't even know if I can understand then. Because everybody has these sexual desires, right? But if, say there was a health issue and, that your significant other couldn't satisfy you, or you couldn't satisfy your significant other, then would you consider it? I mean, is sex that important, or should they be with you and locked down to you no matter what, whether you could or could not perform? You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm trying to figure out, What? Shelly don't queen mean fat? What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Man, you ain't lying about that. Look, you go to ATL, and here's the thing, man. Here's something I saw. I was in the Twitter sphere the other day. Y'all know sometimes I get lost in the Twitter sphere. And sometimes I see shit I wish I never saw. And then, like I said, we're gonna open up the line here in just a minute. And there has been this argument. I like to follow black wealthy Twitter or black business Twitter, And sometimes, niggas gonna be niggas and they gonna talk about some nigga shit. And an argument came to the forefront about who is the prize in the relationship, right? And who is the prize in the relationship? And so what that was, is the man the prize or is the woman the prize? And so there was a bunch of hubbub about the bullshit. And I find it interesting because, on a lot of the women, a lot of especially a lot of the thotty Twitter, just like you got Instagram thoughts, you got Twitter thoughts too. And they were, the woman is the prize, and this, and this. And I saw this chick post something, and it made my brain hurt. And I think a lot of these women are trolling. Like, there's a new type of trolling on Twitter, and you gotta peep it. It'll be a chick, and she may be kind of thick. Won't be the most beautiful chick, but she'll wear something slightly intriguing. And then she'll say something like, "Would you take me or $10 million or $5 million, something of that sort." And it's a lot of trick ass niggas. Oh, baby, I'll take you. Like, get off the bullshit. Take $5 million and buy 100 of you bitches. But and then send you back where you fucking came from. I don't want to be stuck with that commitment. But my thing is, so that kind of started a thing. And then, like I say, some of these same broads were like, well, the woman is the prize. And this chick, she looked kind of like a tranny. And she's just talking about if a man has a baby with me, he's got to pay me $100,000 inconvenience fee, and he's got to get my titties done. He's got to do all this. And I'm like, really? You're like a 5.5 to a 6 at best. And that's, y'all gotta understand the scale, right? There's a local scale, there's a national scale, there's like an international scale. And you really got to grade by like the international scale or the national scale, because local hoes, you gonna get, if you talking about hood hoes, and you can call a lot of hoes a 10 that on a national scale are really like 6, 7s, right? And so my thing is like, a lot of these women know that have nothing to bring to the table but a decent looking body. I mean, not even the nicest body. It's not like you working out. You were blessed with some interesting features, or some of y'all went and got augmented. Like, how are you a prize? If you bring the same thing to the table as every other woman, but you expect the man to provide, wine and dine, entertain, spend. I mean, just like you cover a wide gambit of things, but you're the prize, right? So that's what I'm trying to figure. Like, that's my thoughts. And I'm just like, I'm not saying dudes are necessarily the prize. There's a lot of suck ass dudes out here, and if you have that mindset, then it is what it is. But I want to know your thoughts on that. Exactly. Now here's the thing too. I saw. I'm gonna talk about that in a minute. Somebody called out somebody for using AAA to come change their tire. And they said, "Oh, I just saw a man call AAA to get his tire changed." Is that a bad thing? I mean, if you pay for AAA, isn't that what they're supposed to do? Or should you just say fuck it and change your own tire? Is there a right answer? Is there a wrong answer? I would definitely like to know your thoughts on that. But hey, man, let's get into it, man. I want to know your thoughts. I want to know how y'all feel. Mixer crew, we will be getting live tonight. Mighty Morphin Mixer time. We won't be on super late because, like I said, I got the Texans play tomorrow. The Texans always be fucking up the den and shit. But let's get some good conversation going, man. What has changed? Again, open relationships. Who's the prize? Like I say, we will talk about all of those wonderful things this evening. Give me just a moment. Let me get the let me get the line up. Yeah, that's that baller status. Didn't yeah, I say he ran out of gas, had to leave it in Houston. So I mean, it'd be like that sometimes. When you got big baller status, you do it on a different level. You know what I'm talking about? And that's a very interesting situation, because we talk about how the mentality has changed with age. And that's why I say, I know, like I said, and I'm right at the 35 mark. And like I say, being released back into the market, I'm telling you, I'm so fucking disgusted. Again, it can be me just looking at too much nonsense via the interwebs. But I'm like, man, if a chick got an Instagram account, I probably don't even need to talk to her. No telling what's going on. If some of the stuff you see on Front Street, I sure as hell don't want to know what's going on in the DMs. And like I say, you don't have those. I'm gonna find me a fucking librarian or some shit. Let's look. I ain't with all the shenanigans. I keep it real simple. All right, cool. And call you what? You got to call me, player. Let me put the number up. Let's get some calls in, man. The line is open. I want to know. I want to hear your thoughts. We got the 10-minute rule in tonight. So, like I say, make sure you got your thoughts together. And I want to know what y'all got to say, man. I want to know what's on your mind, man. I want to know how y'all feeling this evening. Boy, you ain't lying. You ain't lying on that, Jack. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling in to the den this evening?
It's got to be Belle.
Oh, it's got to be Belle. The bell has rung. What's the motherfucking deal, Miss Belle? How are you feeling this evening about tonight's topic?
I'm doing pretty okay. The title had me a little flexed. Mm-hmm. I am a person of partnership. I don't want to have a company because when you get that many people in a relationship, it becomes more than just two people. Mm-hmm. And I'm a hard no on that. I think it's fine for other people who, different strokes for different folks, just not my thing.
Okay. So have you ever, even, in a relationship or maybe when younger, have you ever considered it, or even maybe not an open relationship, but maybe being open to partner swapping, swinging anything around in that category?
Yeah.
Okay.
It just, like I said, I've had my experiences. I'm at an age where it doesn't work for me anymore. When I was young and knew that it wasn't going to be a long-term thing or it was just a sexual thing, I thought about it. And I don't have to give you my answers on that, but I'll tell you I thought about it and I entertained it, as you all say.
Entertaining.
Just the fact that when me looking for long-term, I'm looking for partnership, and I know I've said it before, but I've been told more times than I care to say is that sex should only be about 10% of the relationship. Now, I will tell you this, usually the first couple of years, you're kind of like rabbits or dogs or cats or whatever animal that is going to procreate to whatever your heart's desire. But once you hit the 5-year, 7-year, 10-year mark, things slow down a little bit. And there's got to be some substance to keep the relationship going and not just the physical part of it. So it depends on what your long-term plan is. If you're in, hey, let's do this for a couple of years and see where it goes, that's great. But when you start, key swapping and all that, trust issues go right down the toilet, at least from the experiences of people I've seen do it. And just not going to do that. I'm old-fashioned that way, and I don't have any problem owning that.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, that's it. I guess, once you get to a point or when you make a decision, I guess you want to have something that is all yours. If you bought a house, you wouldn't want to have everybody and anybody living in it, so I guess that could be a thing. So, okay. Any other?
You know what they say is like after 3 days, everybody needs to go home.
Well, I agree with that.
So it's kind of like that, and to put things back into check. So, but it doesn't mean being the quote-unquote librarian or straight-laced. It doesn't mean it's boring. It just means that it's committed. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what people kind of get that messed up, is that it doesn't have to be boring. It's just committed.
Okay. Well, if it gets to a point like that, and like you said, it doesn't have to be boring, so should it be an obligation to keep things spicy?
I think it should be open communication, and I think that each person can have a hard no, and each person can have, there's things that women like to do that men don't. There's things men like to do that women don't. And so you've got to figure out where your boundary is and what you're willing to say yes to and what you're willing to absolutely say, nope, I can't go there.
Okay.
And that's important, actually, because that actually gives both people more strength in the relationship because they'll know where the boundaries are.
Okay. Communication is the key.
And that can go on every level. Whether you need to have a safe word or not.
So you say communication is the key, but not the key that you swap. Is that what you would say?
least in my case. Now, that doesn't mean other people aren't for it, and hey, the more power to you. That's just not my thing. And I'd like to hear from other people, if they've been in that particular situation, what their experience is from that.
Yep. Okay.
Because that does make a difference. And like I said, personally, I never had to deal with that, but I've heard some pretty bad horror stories as far as it really breaking the relationships long term.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I can agree with that, and I think there may be a lesson or two in there that people could pick up and maybe apply to themselves. But what do you think about the conversation about the prize? Do you think it's determined, or are both partners the prize? Who is the prize in a relationship, in your opinion?
I think they both are. When two people come together, they bring their own sets of values to the table. And if one person has what the other one needs, then it works. If one person doesn't have anything the other person needs, they're going to walk away.
Correct.
So there's got to be value on both sides of the table for it to be stable. And if not, it doesn't work. You know, if she's all like, well, I want this, I want that, and he's willing to give it, then that'll only go for so long and so far. And it's the same thing with him. If he's like, hey, baby, you need to do this and you need to do that, and he's all, you know, all this all the time, that's only going to go so far. There has to be balance.
Okay.
So that's just my opinion, and I'd like to hear everybody else's.
All right. Well, Ms. Bell, I appreciate your call. The bell has rung and class is in session.
All right. Welcome to Friday night.
All righty. Have a good evening.
Yes. Thank you.
All right. Let me do some testing here. 'Cause like I said, I don't know how the pistachio situation is working. It's supposed to be via the cloud, but if you're on hold or anything, it's not showing up. So make sure you might have to hang up and call back. You know, sometimes the line does that. But like I said, I tried to upload the information into the dilly dally. So we'll see if it responds or how it responds. If it responds at all. If not, I got everybody marked down for early bird pistachios. And like I said, I'll do it manually. If happy belated birthday, Trey. Like I said, you know, my fault. The stream was acting improper yesterday, and so you know it wasn't what it was. Well, I know you'd be the first to tell me, Sweet Berry. You keep a pistachio check on. Let me see something. Let me see if there's any other fucking sentence I gotta fuck with. But let me see. Log in here. How about I didn't? I'll say I did, Shelly. That'll work for you. But yeah, but like I say, you know, in this new day and age, you know, it seems like everybody is with the shits, right? So it's like, you know, if you are one of those type of people, do you shoot your shot to see what your significant other says? You know, do you oh, well, I guess that's part of the problem right there, huh? I don't have preferences and shit on here. So okay, I guess I gotta fucking put these settings on for the fucking the cloud shit to work, right? I guess that only makes sense. No, we won't do this shit. Make sure that the commands and shit are the fucking same. I apologize. Okay, cool. That should be good. That should be good. Oh, okay. I think everything else should be right for the most part. I cut it on, so we'll see. Let's try this again. But I'll use a random name here. Oh, 5,000 anyway. But you know, like I say, looking into it, so people, she says, you know, hey, it should be commitment. You know, it should be more than just Love, that shit still not showing up. Okay, there it goes. Oh, what the fuck? Well, that's a whole random thing, and that didn't work. That shit giving out some other shit. Let's maybe not do that. I don't know what the fuck that was right there. That shit giving me all the code and shit. Fuck yeah. Yeah, that's some other shit going on. I don't know. But fuck it. I guess we'll have to hold off on the pistachios today, and then we'll figure everything else out as it goes. I want that on there. So yeah, I don't know why it's like I say, I'm trying to use the cloud shit. That shit janky as shit, and I'm not finna deal with it. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
Oh, what's up with you? This Bria from the chat.
All right. What's on your mind? Okay.
No, I just wanted to tell you how I feel. I feel like in a relationship that the man is the prize, especially if he got his head on his shoulder and his money right.
Correct.
For one, the woman that heard his last name, he don't get hers. And for two, is he paying all the bills and doing stuff like they ask, he the prize. He got the gold. Whoever got the gold rules. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing. What was the other topic you wanted to talk about?
And just talking about open relationships as a whole, would you entertain it? Would you engage in one? And I'm speaking about open relationships, but I guess you could, like I say, me personally, I said no. We're both partners. Open relationships, both partners have access to whomever they want. You have the polygamy aspect, where I look at that as more like one partner.
Yeah. You said like grandpa and grandma. Yeah. My whole viewpoint of that was that it wasn't as many STDs as it is back then as there are now. Correct. So when grandpa stepped out the house, like grandpa might have made another baby or something like that, but then like they went. It's a lot to that. We went back then, but one thing for sure that they had HIV and all that stuff back with my grandfather. He was 89 when he passed. He passed in 2011. Mm-hmm. So this is my idea of grandparents. Grandparents nowadays are 40 years old, 50 years old. So I'm just giving an example of how old my grandparents was. There wasn't that many STDs back then as it is now.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So if you step out now, there's more of a risk of a health risk than just a pregnancy. I mean, they did give out syphilis and stuff like that back then, which we know from like the Tuskegee experiment, but it just wasn't as prevalent as it is now. It wasn't as common.
I agree.
So what would you think with that being said?
Man, I definitely agree with that, man, because like I said, it's a dangerous game nowadays. And, we've talked about certain groups wanting to talk about that you shouldn't even have to tell people if you have STDs, which I think is fucking disgusting. I think we live in a day and age where, it's spread like crazy and people don't really give a shit. They still doing whatever they're doing. I think that is something that you have to be cautious of, especially if you're out here getting promiscuous. And then if you do have a person back home that you say that you love or whatever, and you're going out and about, and condoms don't protect everything. So I know people, you can condom up, but they don't protect everything. So if you are being more open in an open relationship, and then you're doing whatever you're doing, and then you bring that back to the house, that creates a situation. Or even if you on the wrong end of it, if your significant is going out and doing whatever they doing, and then they bring you something back, I think you have a whole little clusterfuck right there. That's why I say, man, just be a polygamist. Just be one man, keep all the women in house. Everybody is up to date. You keep track of everything. You ain't got to worry about that. I'm not, but I'm talking shit. But I do think that's a big issue, and that's kind of part of the concern with what's going on these days.
But that sounds like a better idea than going out and I'm going to meet Keisha and she going to meet Jerome.
Correct.
And we don't know where Keisha and Jerome and them been at. That sounds like more of a some type of way to at least keep a family structure. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At least our grandparents and our grandmothers and grandfathers knew the importance of having a family structure, and they knew that was what was going to keep the neighborhood together. So even though they did do something on the side, because I asked my grandfather, the last year of my grandfather's life, I took care of him because he really couldn't do that much for himself.
Yeah.
And I asked him, I said, Granddad, I had questions at first. I needed to know about manhood that I knew I could only learn from this man before he died by talking to him. So I asked him, Granddad, have you ever stepped out on Grandma? And he said, I ain't never said I did. He never said that he did, but he never said that those his exact words. I ain't said that.
Yeah.
So it was like with that being said, it was like, dang, even though that they were together, it's just something about the nature of a man and the nature of Earth. Because I would say this too before I get ready to leave. The science of the planet, the woman species outnumber male species in every species on the Earth. From the lion's pride to the beehive to the ant colony to deers, mammals, camels, and rabbits. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's human beings. And then us as human beings, we going through man-made sicknesses, guns and violence and man-made death. And then with the black community too, the man-made, you know how our numbers are. If there was one man to every woman wouldn't have a man. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So, in the way, by science, what I would call by the God of nature, nature's God, design, it was kind of like that. Okay. What would you say?
I might not disagree with you. I feel like men are more meant to spread and sow, but we got this thing called monogamy here in the U.S., so I think that we have been kind of trained, or society has taught these expectations that, you know, it should be a one-to-one thing. But like you said, if you look at the numbers, there's not enough for everybody to have one-to-one. So that's why I wonder, in certain situations, should people consider sharing, especially if you look at, and like you mentioned, the black community. Like I said, I think black women are getting the bad end of the stick as far as, you know, opportunities and choices. Now, a lot of them jump off early and make bad choices, and so they exclude themselves from certain decision making arenas. But like I say, if you're talking about good men who got something going for them, it's not too many options for a lot of, compared to the good women that are in the black community. And so some of y'all might need to consider. We already talked about the other day the low rate of marriage and everything else that goes with it. There's a low rate of relationships to correspond with that. So I think that, you know, hey, it may be something to consider. You know, everybody need to come to terms and be a family thing. But what you mentioned about the Keisha and Jerome thing, which is very interesting, because Keisha and Jerome have their own interests to look out for. They don't give a fuck about your open relationship, and if you're still being committed to that person, all they caring about is what they get from you sexually. So and so it's not that same type of deal. So yeah, you out there, you know, hopping around doing whatever, but these people are just looking at you as another sex partner. They don't care about what you got going on at your house. And so, like you said, you go in, you go back home, and if you bring something back home, not only STD, but what if you slip up, players fuck up, and you bring home a little whatever, you know, and then now you got some other shit going on. What dynamic does that bring to the relationship? So I do believe that with this entirely open situation, that there are issues. And let's be honest, especially as a man, you know, the male ego is a motherfucker. And if you know, one, your old lady out there getting bust up, and number two, she come bring something.
Yeah, don't no man want this woman out there getting bust up somewhere.
Exactly.
Especially if he think if a nigga busting it up more than he is.
Exactly. So that's number one. Because look, don't miss your night. Well, what happened to mine? Oh, she going to see Jerome. Oh, you finna feel some type of way about it. And then if she come home and that stomach start looking a little swole, you gonna have a lot of questions. You know what I'm saying? And then with determining on if and what, where, who, when, and how, when everything becomes everything, you know, that's gonna determine some things. You know what I'm saying? If you let Jerome run up in your raw or whatever else is going on, or whoever and whatever. And so I think there's a lot of complications and a lot of things that go on when it comes to these situations, man.
So I'll say this before I go. Between I would say maybe the 3 situations between just being in your relationship and not going outside your relationship. That would be the number one way that I would say relationships should go. But knowing that it don't go like that, the third option I would completely X out, which would be dating outside and having an open relationship, which would possibly bring back health concerns and health risks. So between those 3, I'd rather, if you do the polygamy thing where it might be 1-2 people in the house in the relationship, blah, 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 because that way you can still keep some type of form of family structure. Besides, I was raised in Islam anyway, and even though they believe in, I'd rather have one wife, but it's in my religion too, and I see why. But I can't afford 2-3 wives. I could barely afford myself.
Yeah.
So, but that at least it's still a family structure type way like that. Without, I'm gone, man. Shout out Honcho, man.
All right, man. Appreciate the call, man.
Be safe.
Yeah, you too.
All right. Peace.
Yeah, already. Interesting. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
Hey, Honcho, it's Misty. How are you?
Dream Barbie, what's the motherfucking deal? How are you this evening?
You said I got my name back.
Nah, I'm sticking with the old name. I got used to it already. I've been saying it too much. I'm sticking with Dream Barbie.
Okay. Well, I don't think it's a good idea to have all that open relationship stuff. Because even if it's a one-time thing, because I was watching Paternity Court, and I was thinking about this topic because I saw it coming up because I saw the topic she had listed, were coming up, and I was like, damn, this sounds like something off of Honcho's thing, So this couple, the wife had decided that it would be okay for them to have an open or like a one-time thing to see how it was with her best friend because it was her husband's birthday. So she was going to give that to her husband for his birthday, like I guess 3-something, whatever. Well, anyway, I guess he liked it a little bit too much with the best friend, So he went off and started having his separate affair with the best friend. She ended up pregnant, and she had a boyfriend, not knowing who the baby belonged to. Then they had to go to paternity court. Come to find out, the baby was her best friend's husband, and so then not only did he have kids with his wife, but he had a kid with her best friend. All of this stirred from a threesome thing, and it turns out that it always seems like, or maybe it's just the ones that I see on TV or that you hear people talk about, it always seems like because the husband is with that wife all the time, the other person is maybe something new, or something like that. And maybe they feel like because they can do this the one time, then they get to talking over on the side and then, secretly or something because maybe they enjoyed what was happening or whatever. So then he gets interested in that and he's like, oh, we could just keep this a secret or something. And then it blows up in their face, and I just don't think I'd be interested in that. That just doesn't seem, and then, like you said, putting them all in different rooms, you got to have a hell of a bunch of jobs for stuff like that because women cost money. We like to shop and, you got to buy everybody a car. That's just too much work.
No. So they got a carpool and they got to be about the same size so they can share clothes. Wow, problem solved.
Well, yeah, I guess that could work if they're willing to do that. But there's a lot of ladies in the den. You can ask them; they are not going to share clothes.
No, that's tough.
And then
they do it all the time when they go to the club.
Well, okay. Then there's one other thing that you could do. This couple that was on 2020.
Bills, y'all.
I saw this a long time ago. There was a woman, and she had 2 men, and the 2 men said they were both in love with her, and all 3 of them lived in the same house together. So it was the woman and the 2 men. They all 3 slept in the same bed together, and she got pregnant but didn't know who the daddy was because she was such they were equally in love with both of them, and so they all had a big 3 relationship, 2 men and the woman, and then they had a little boy, and they were just going to keep having kids and never find out who the daddy was. But then that one old guy said when they was asking, well, do you ever get jealous or do you ever feel this way or that way? And he said, yeah, he did. one of the old guys that they interviewed said that one of the old husbands or whatever you want to call him, he said, yeah, he gets jealous. I just think it's impossible for like one of them not to get jealous or something, or to like, I don't know, throw all your clothes out on the top of the car, you know, like waiting to exhale, throw all your clothes on top of the car and burn your shit up and everything, and then you have to start all over. That might happen, Honcho, so you might not or to pull that.
Man,
but anyway, no is my answer. I really don't think that. I think that's just more trouble than it's worth.
Okay. Missy, do you have a best friend?
Huh?
Do you have a best friend?
I do, and she stays far away from my house.
So you wouldn't, well, that's even better. So you wouldn't trust to give Mr. Misty one night of unforgettable pleasure along with your best friend and then send her back home to wherever she's at?
Hell no. No.
That's tough. Why
not?
No.
I just don't think that that's a good idea.
Okay.
Because, see, like I told you, the thing about it is you guys like to chase about something. So if it's sort of like, you know, like maybe you liked being with that person one time, but your wife is the person that you're with all the time. I mean, yeah, you keep it spiced up and all that stuff, but still, the person you were with at one time, it may pique your interest to want to be with them another time. And if your wife says no, you may go do it behind her back anyway. So no, hell no to the no to the no. Nope, not me.
Okay. All right, I mean, I'm just asking, you know, just
yeah, I'm not gonna do it. No. Yeah. But, I mean,
so how would you feel if your husband asked you?
I can send her out to Texas, but you said you don't like white women, so I don't know.
I know you don't. You have to send her no text from me. I'm cool. I'm good. I'm celibate. But but you. What if your husband asked you for something like that? How would you feel?
Piss the hell off.
Okay.
And he knows better than to ask for something like that. And if I ever caught him in something like that, all his shit would be outside burned.
Oh, that's tough. That's a lot of money just to burn some stuff. Why don't you just sell it? You know? I
don't know. I mean, I just think burning the shit would be so much better. It would just give you such a sense of, I burned the shit up or something. I mean, you could always sell the stuff that might be valuable, but I burn the clothes, the underwear, just burn all the shit. You know?
That's tough, man. Burning draws.
Yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't have no more draws. Have to go to Walmart and get you some of those Fruity Balloons.
Okay. I have no other comment.
But that was all I had for you. I just want to say no. I just don't see I don't see it working. You know, I really don't. Not in the long run. Maybe in the short term, youngster age or whatever. And I was going to tell you, I don't know why you keep on saying that you're getting old. You're late. You said you're on the line of 35. You can still have a whole family. What is wrong with you? You can still have 2 kids and a wife and do it all before you're 40. So stop that mess.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Well, it could though. But I'm saying technically it could happen though if you met, you know, if that was what you wanted and all the things fell into the right spot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, like the woman and everything and all that stuff. I'm saying technically it could, so you got to quit saying that you're old because you're not old.
Okay, I'll agree with you on that. But I mean, I could hit the lotto too, so you know, there's.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, if you hit the lottery, you could have 10 wives.
No.
That might be different, but
that.
see, these women cost a lot of money.
No, I mean,
yeah. All right. Well, I'm out of here.
All right, Miss Misty, I appreciate you calling in.
Okay.
All right. Oh, yeah, I'm just saying. I'm telling you, this day and age, man, I am disgusted by the things that I see. I'm just like, man, I used to be an awful person. Now I've gotten a little bit of sense about myself. I couldn't hold up if I wanted to. It's just it's a wild world out there. I'm just like, Now, maybe going international. That's a thing. It's just I think some in the wild west. It's a different breed, man. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. I think it was super spammy. I'm trying to minimize spam. Like I said, with this fucking cloud bot, it's got some other shit going on. So I'm trying to swap it up and figure it out why it's too spam rolling. No, it's the fucking bot is tripping, man. So I think you can still do some things, but I don't even know. Let me see. Because the actual chatbot that I use, it's messed up, so it's having to I have to use like the cloud version of it, and so it's See, I don't like this new bot. Cleveland steamer. Yeah, you'll have to you have to pull a Misty and Googleize that. Go to the Urban Dictionary. Will definitely give you. It's terrible. That duel sucks. Yeah, I gotta. Yeah, yeah, I don't like the cloud bot. I probably have to do a lot of tweaking to it to get it to be set up right. I did it last minute, so it's all weird. Yeah, you'll have to you'll have to go to the Urban Dictionary and Googleize that. I don't want to be the one to introduce you to such a thing. Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. Might be better than the Cleveland Browns though. So I mean, it might be the same thing. Anyway, but yeah. So here's my deal though. When we talk about open relationships, we talk about people getting out there and just kind of doing willy nilly. And what kind of really brought this up is maybe think about this situation in Florida. Of course, in Florida, of all places, Florida's one of the worst places. It was one of the worst places on earth. And a particular chick that looks like it's Pat has 4 dudes. They all stay together, and she's dating 4 dudes and is having one of the dudes' babies. And technically, they're all in an open relationship, but none of the other dudes go out and engage. They all just sleep with her. And they're all going to be 4 daddies, so I guess 4 daddies. You remember, what was that, 2 men and a little lady, or 3 men and a little lady? Now you got 4 men and a little lady, and It's Pat. That's the new movie. And good evening, Miss Danny B. Moore. How are you this evening? Do you And so you have like, that's a very awkward situation. And so here's the deal, right? If you got 4 dudes in the house and y'all like got this schedule, like somebody's getting fucked over. Like she's getting fucked obviously, but somebody misses out on a turn, right? It's only 7 days a week. So if like you got a schedule, like everybody gets 2 turns a week and you're the odd man out. Like what happens,
Melinda
right?
Anubis donated $2. Misty and Honcho sitting in a tree, KISSING. And down on the ground, Sweetberry working her ass off sawing the tree down.
That's fucking hilarious. Melinda News, appreciate the love. 325, appreciate the love. Thunderbolt, appreciate the love. Oh my God, that's fucking hilarious. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like right now, the fucking bot sucks, man. Fucking this new thing is terrible, right? It's terrible. So, but again, like as we move forward, I mean, this is a thing. But think about it: millennials are having less and less sex, and these are all like young people. And one of them was weird because he's like 17. I guess it's legal in the law, but she's probably a cradle robber. But a bunch of young dudes. I don't know, what do you call them? Generation Z. I don't know what the new generation is. I don't. After millennials, I know the shit just falls off. The younger millennials are terrible, and everything under that is terrible. Like they're not fucking. Well, I told y'all the other day that Pornhub was reporting that like cuckold porn is like up significantly more than ever. So this is going to be a thing that's going to happen, right? It's going to be more and more of this different type of relationship occurring. You know what I'm saying? And so that's where it is. See, yeah, you can't even do none of the stuff, none of the fucking things. It has a whole bunch of shit. Like that's why I say I gotta fucking go back and I gotta fix all the commands and shit. So none of the shit is working. Matter of fact, what does that have to do with anything? No. Yeah, because none of the shit works right. All of the fucking things are terrible. But, what are you talking about, stupid bot? I don't even know how that's a thing. Guess we can do that and then do that. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's terrible. You got some 8-ball stuff in here, but it only has a couple of little selections. Like I say, it's not as cool. I gotta figure out what's what, and then we can we'll get it all together. But like I say, but you're seeing more and more of these relationships where, especially men, they don't even want to fuck with. They'll be with a chick. They don't even want to fuck with the chick. They want other men fuck with the chick. You see more now with a lot of this sexual liberation, and especially a lot of these identities and crazy shit that are going on. Women are being encouraged to do more fucking, right? And I think that, honestly, my personal preference. No, it won't authenticate, so I can't use it won't let me access it. Keep it in real time, Riley. What's the motherfucking deal? How you doing this evening? Footballer 503. What's the motherfucking deal? I appreciate that, Miss Empress. And so, like I said, I think that relationships, this new modern, like the new modern shit as we're going into 2020, everything is fucking weird. It's nothing like it was in the 90s for sure. Philip Vieira, what's the motherfucking deal? And so, terrible, Shelly. Shelly, you're a terrible person. But like I say, it's changed. And so I think there are a lot of people who are getting into this, who are supporting this mentality. And I think as a man, I think there are some out there, nobody's going to be like, well, I'm okay with it. I wouldn't mind. Because it makes you look like less of a man. But you'll be surprised what's going on behind closed doors. And so, but there are men who don't, again, I don't know if a man feels inadequate. Maybe he just don't got the tools for the job and he just wants to see his wife happy. I don't know what a woman would get out of it, vice versa. Maybe she just wants to see her man happy. Maybe she's happy. Maybe she just knows there's things that she can't do. Or maybe, I don't know. Maybe things have changed over the course, and maybe she just, a surprise, pleasantry, whatever it is. Like I say, I think there's lots of different things that go into it. But like I said, the chick, and that's an awkward arrangement. Like I said, when we were talking about that earlier, when LB called in, and what happens when you bring a kid home? But all these dudes, they talk about how, in that article, they're talking about, yeah, they're a little bit jealous, and she goes on vacation. Like, how the fuck you go on a vacation? Say you go on a vacation for the weekend, and my days over the weekend, I get missed out on. Like, how do you schedule sleeping with 4 dudes? And then she talked about she's getting tired because, none of them go out and get any other. Like, what kind of weird-ass arrangement is this, right? And so that's my thing. Like, that's why I'm almost like, hey, if you find you a situation, and again, as a man, I think it's different than as a woman, because when you talk about who's the daddy and all these other things, that if mistakes happen, if things happen, and then the way the legal system is here in America. So if you're a dude and you go get 2 chicks and y'all have an understanding, you have a familial arrangement, they coincide with one another and they can operate, as a family and everything else, and you're able to take care and sustain that relationship and all that stuff, I don't see a problem with it. But I think it's flipped in reverse, especially the way we are here in America. A woman doing that doesn't make any sense because, one, both men are going to still be expected to be providers or whatever. And then if you're providing, you're pulling your equal share, but you got to wait and hold on for somebody else. That doesn't make any sense now, does it? What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening?
What's up, Miss Lady? How are you?
I am doing excellent, Miss Lady Licious. How are you this evening?
I'm excited that you are on the air today. OMG, yesterday really sucked ass. You know that?
Oh man, yes, it was terrible. It was a bad, horrible experience for everyone involved. I was highly upset at the outcome. and a bit better now. But I was
I
mad.
know it. I see the angry faces.
I was mad, man. I was very mad. Like, it just, because like I said, the goal was the 30 days of den, and that kind of threw a monkey wrench in the program. But it is what it is. But so, what's on your mind this evening?
Oh, that's all right. Huh?
So what's on your mind this evening on tonight's topic?
Oh man. So if I could, I would.
Word. So
Yeah.
why do you feel like you can't?
Because I don't want to know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be like, oh, it's open relationship, but like, I don't want to know when you go see that other person. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, I don't know if I would feel right if I said, oh, well, like I would still kind of be sneaky about it, but at the same time, like, let's not look for it type deal. But then it's still, like, well, once you say it's open and that motherfucker go to the club, you be like, yeah, right, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? So that's what sucks about it.
Okay. So, but you said you would if you could, but you feel like mentally there's a roadblock preventing you from being able to accept, your significant other with someone else.
Yeah.
And what,
you know what I'm saying? I think that's what would stop me from having threesomes, because he knows I'm bi. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
but
no, I mean, you're just greedy.
I
That's all
can't
it
do
is.
it.
You're just greedy. That's all it is.
I know, right?
Yeah. That's all it is.
But nah, I just feel like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I just feel like my ass a blank. You know what I'm saying? Fuck his ass and fuck her up real quick. One of them, too much or some shit like that. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I think that might happen. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I be scared. Because you'll never know until you're in that situation.
Okay.
So then it's like, I don't know.
Okay.
I ain't got no worries. But then, too, what the big question is, too, then, like, it's like, who do you do it with, though? You know what I'm saying? Because if you do a threesome with a friend, then I don't know, like, maybe it'd be awkward. You know what I'm saying? Or you can't do it with some random ass strangers because motherfuckers, you don't want to catch nothing type deal. You know what I'm saying? So
Well, what if you do it with your friend and you still catch something? How does that impact your friendship?
Right, exactly. That'd be awkward and fucked up. You know what I'm saying? I might lose a friend out of it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, damn it, just all these. What do you do?
I think it comes down to that situation. Everybody gets tested. Make sure everything's on the up and up, even if it's just for the one-time thing. But then you do, like you said, you have a situation. What if somebody enjoys it a little bit too much? What if it's not even, your husband? What if it's the friend, and maybe you're not around or whatever's going on, and she accidentally come knocking. Is Lady Licious here? Oh, she's not here right now. Et cetera, et cetera. Oh well, yada yada yada, and then that door's opened up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
exactly. So it's hard. But I mean, if it wasn't all these, like, I guess, worry type deal, then I would. Shit me. I would. Sure would. But then I'd be like, well, you know what I'm saying? That's cool. I mean, I can't give it to you today because it's that time, blah, blah, blah. Or, motherfucker, I don't feel like it, call her ass. You know what I'm saying? You'll be all right, makes a happy home. But, hey. It's that backdoor shit that make motherfuckers mad and shit, Got him that I ain't had no pussy in 5 days, bitch, blah, 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 You know how y'all do. Y'all do like that,
Is that so?
I can't say me because I don't get told no. I'm just saying.
Oh, you over there bullying people. Stealing it. That's tough, man. That's tough.
It is. It really is. I feel bad for y'all.
So okay, so you say that you would be cool with it, but because of the jealousy you couldn't. If you presented that to your significant other, because I'm not going to say Mr. Nothing, how do you think he would respond?
I don't think he would be real negative about it, honestly, because I mean we've been through our times or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like I told you before, we was actually separated for 2 years, so he done ventured off, I ventured off, blah, 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 we both did each other dirty, this and that kind of stuff, so it ain't like it ain't never happened before, but...
So you think that he would... So you think that he would be open to an open relationship?
I think so, to a certain extent. I mean, I think he might have, he'd be on the same page as me, you know what I'm saying? Like, he probably wouldn't want to know about it, you know what I'm saying? Blah, blah, blah. But like I said, it's like, okay, we have that understanding, so we're not going to, go through each other's phones or who you texting or, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. Those type insecurities, you know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, she might be, she might not be, but I already said it was cool, so I ain't even going to question it type deal, but I don't know. I think you still have those same concerns that I have.
Okay.
So.
That's understood. That's understandable. Okay.
Yeah. What about you? Would you do it?
Like I said, as far as an open relationship, no. Polygamous type shit, like I say, with me and I have, multiple women, I would entertain that. I would have, like I say, if it was a controlled household, familial type situation where we were all on the same page and the same accord, I wouldn't be opposed to that. But as far as open and just too much access from outsiders, absolutely not.
Yeah, I mean, I think there should be some kind of boundaries, you know what I'm saying, especially if you're married. But, I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe at the beginning it's like, nah, you're mine and only mine and, can't nobody else have you type deal. I still feel that way, you know what I'm saying? But after 15 years, it's like, damn, you know what I'm saying? I've been good for so long, shit. Except for that break we had, but that don't count because that was both of us. But I'm just saying, it was kind of like exciting because it was like, ooh, something new, you know what I'm saying? It's there, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's always going to be there. You're going to see somebody, regardless who you with, you're going to see somebody walking down the street that got a fat ass or just looks fine, and you're just going to look and start wondering, like, God damn, I just wonder what this motherfucker about. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to do nothing because I'm married and shit, but, I'm going to think it, though. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. You can look, you can't touch, though. That's fine.
Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if it's a break, it's all fair game. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But like I say, it's too much stuff going on in the world today. Like you want to entertain it. It all sounds good, but like I say, is the risk worth the reward? These days, what you got to consider. So,
Exactly. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I think it doesn't make a difference. Like, especially, let's say you doing your thing, you in a relationship, but you doing your thing, you know what I'm saying, and then you catch your other person doing their thing, you know what I'm saying, you automatically going to be mad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the same time, then you're going to look at it like, well, damn, or they look at it like, well, you did it to me. You know what I'm saying? So why should it be any different? What's good for the goose ain't good for the gander type shit,
Yeah.
So with it being open, you kind of let that slide. So, I mean, it's like, it might be going on or it might not. You know what I'm saying? You might have that open relationship and not even go nowhere.
Yeah.
So it might, people have different thinking about it sometimes. So I don't know. But I would.
Okay.
I just don't want to know. Like, you just keep that shit to yourself.
And what's up, Broderick and Bad Bougie? How would it work with multiple wives? Well, you just, you got to hold down the fort. That's all it is. You may have to put a little bit more extra time in, or we can come up with a schedule, a mutual arrangement, alternating schedule, something like that, so nobody gets left out or nobody feels, second place or anything like that. But it definitely could work.
What you talking about?
Miss Bad
I can't read.
Miss Bad Bougie was asking, well, how would it work with multiple wives? And so, like I said, my thing is not that I think each, you get their own individual time. I'm not talking about some old group action all the time because I'm not really into the whole. I don't want if I had a threesome, it would have to be me having my way with two women. It wouldn't be about they messing with each other and then me, in the mix too. Like, no, I don't care about, like, I'm greedy. I want all the attention. It's all about me here. So it would be, they would each get their individual time and then, we work it like that.
See, exactly. So, but see, okay. So, but then when I told you about my experience that one time where it was two dudes, you know what I'm saying, motherfuckers was like, oh, that's crazy, blah, 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 this and that. But it was like the same thing.
So you
I
say,
mean, that's what
bad
it
bougie.
was. Huh?
I say, bad. I say, so you say bad bougie. but I mean, that's a different thing because yeah, it absolutely is. You know, it's like this, right? It's like this. Say
Just
you
because
have a.
y'all, no, hold on. You just have that whole fantasy about, okay, now it's like up the ante because you got two females rubbing on each other, plus you. So it's like a plus win for you, you know what I'm saying? And two dudes, they ain't got to rub on each other. They ain't got to touch each other. I mean, that's how it went on my end. I ain't have to worry about them, you know. That's fine. I was good. Shit. All my attention on me, you know.
But here's my thing, right?
Can't complain.
Here's my thing, right? You're familiar with an electric outlet, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So an electric outlet, most of them generally, I think here in America, they have two plugs, right?
Okay.
When you start trying to do more than that with those two plugs, I mean, they can only handle those two plugs. They're only designed to handle so much. But say, what is it called? The plug. Say you have an electric device that you require to plug in for it to operate. Well, you can plug it all over the place, and it works. You can plug it in multiple different. You can plug it all around the house. You know, sometimes it's like one, two, three, four or five plugs in this room alone, and I can plug the lights in any one of them. Works just fine. But I can't plug all of the lights into one of them because something's going to be left out. It's not going to work properly. Something's going to be improperly functioning. So,
Okay.
women are like those electric plugs. You feel me? There's only so much that should be going on at one time. Now, if I'm talking about two women and I don't want them finagling with each other, just, being their own separate electric plugs, well, I can plug it in, and we all win, right? I mean, so I
Right.
think
You
I
can
think there's
plug one in each other. Okay, so what are you getting at?
but what I'm saying is that
I'm
so I'm saying that with women and this whole and then I think you got to talk about the male ego. Women, it's a lot of layers to that. You know what I'm saying? And I could talk about some stories. And I've sold some stories here, but it's just now these things just don't work anymore. It just doesn't function like that. No, I'm just gonna say no. No, that's a no go. Two men is a no go. That's a different story. That's a
Yeah,
different.
for you, because you feel like
Well,
it's gay. Y'all might accidentally touch,
no, because one you should never be on the same side.
penises or
No, no,
something.
no, no. Because see, look, like I said, I did my share of shenanigans in high school. We used to run through the little thotties in high school and do whatever. I had me and a partner. It was super funny because it was like two or three different chicks that we end up. You be talking to a chick? Okay, well, hey, fuck it. It is what it is. But there's rules to this game. You stay at polar opposites. There's no crossing paths. There's no way to connection above. So there's not a worry about that. It just doesn't function like that. This isn't like the porno movies where they're doing all the weird shit. In reality, you stay on your end, I stay on mine. That's your half of the chick. This is my half of the chick, et cetera, et cetera. So, but all I'm saying is just that you just don't. It doesn't work like that. Like there's only one star of the show. And
It worked for me.
No,
I don't know. Maybe your imagination is not wide enough, but they have to touch each other. But I still,
But what I'm saying is, there can only be one star to the show, and that's me. I got to be the star.
Yeah, I didn't even get no sauces that night. I told you that. I wasn't bullshit. I was not bullshitting. That shit was rubbed and licked, and that's all it was.
And then that right there, that's like
I ain't have to do shit.
What kind of party is that? So that's what I'm saying. Both of these gentlemen,
It was great for me.
Yeah, because you won. Okay, that's fine, and you won from that. But looking at the men in this situation, you're like, what are y'all doing? What? Like if they went back and shared that, like you telling that you shared that story with us. If they were to call in and share that story, they would probably get two thumbs down from the entire chat. They'd be like, this is a horrible story. What are you talking about, bro? What is going on? Like, it wouldn't be the same response. You know what I'm saying? It would not be the same response as you telling the story.
They enjoyed themselves. I don't know. But sometimes you get enjoyment from feeling others. I mean, I do. You know what I'm saying? If I can't, perform because of the month or whatever, blah, 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 and he really wants me, I'm going to give him some head, right?
Yeah,
but I'm going to get some kind of enjoyment out of it because, that's what I'm doing. He's getting satisfied. So.
But that's a different thing. You know what I'm saying? That's a different thing. Like, that's because of a natural thing. If I'm giving, I do have some type of expectation to receive in some form or fashion, one way or another, or this whole process, I'm gonna get something out of it. What's this the saying they use in the economics? There's no such thing as a free lunch. Like, yeah, I'm gonna get something out of this too. Like, if you're gonna get some enjoyment out of this, and generally women get much more, they get multiple, and I'm just trying to get me one. Y'all are greedy. Y'all get you 2, 3, 4 of them, and then look, I'm just trying to get mine. I don't care about the tire and all that other extra shit. I just want mine. And so I think it's a fair exchange. So it's like,
I can understand that.
That's all it is. So this is no freebies. Everybody should be mutually pleased at the end of the game.
I don't know, because it ain't like the other dude couldn't get no play, and the other one I was already fucking. So it wasn't like, he ain't never, like, none of them ever got any. You know what I'm saying? One of them, the one his friend, I ain't fucking him. You know what I'm saying? We ain't have no kind of sex ever. You know what I'm saying? That was the only sexual contact that we had was that night when he was there. But the other dude, I was already dating the fucking first. He was going to get some regardless. So it's not like they were just left out like, damn, I did all this and now I'm going to get blue balls. Nah, the other dude ended up calling his girl up, and then later on, me and my dude got together. But at just that moment, it was just me. So it's like, I ain't going to complain. It's like, you wouldn't complain if it was girl. Y'all just look at it differently, because y'all ain't trying to see no penises and stuff, and y'all think it's gay and blah, 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 So I think that's a little factor that it comes with y'all, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to 2 dudes and 1 girl. Or then it's always looked at as a fucking, for females to have 2 guys at once, or, you know what I'm saying, whatever, then it starts to be a gangbang in other people's minds. And I was like, well, I don't know. That situation, I didn't feel like that, so. That's different to me, but that's how my husband looks at it. He's like, if a girl has more than 1 dude, then it's a gangbang.
That's generally the rules. But if you didn't, if you were not receiving any phallus, I guess was that it? I mean, that might be a different conversation now. If you were, getting ran through and you were prepared for the pipe, well, then, it might be what it is. And if you like that and you can find willing participants and you enjoy, hey, that's you. I'm not knocking it. Everybody has to do whatever they enjoy. I'm just saying, my rule book states this is what Honcho is going to accept. Your rule book may be different. Your rule book may have a different set of bylaws in it. What's up, Big M? Yes, Big M. I'm tearing down everything I ever tried to build. So that's just my thoughts on it. You know what I'm saying? That's how it is. Yeah.
I can understand. It's cool. It's all right. We can have our differences sometimes.
Yes.
It's my buddy, though.
Yes.
That'll be the one time, any other time I'm like, you know what, you're right, but this time, I don't know. That's all right. Everybody's going to be different about it. Some people ain't even open to that. They be like, hell nah, that's cheating, and if you're married, you're under Bible law and blah, blah, blah type shit, and I don't know.
Okay.
Everybody ain't going to have the same thoughts on that type of situation anyway, so it is what it is.
I agree.
But that's good. That's cool. Nothing wrong with that.
All right. I mean, everybody's entitled to, their thoughts and their feelings on this. But here's the deal, Miss Lady Listen. Look, I done broke the rules. I be trying to follow the rules. I done broke the rules. Me over here talking with Miss Lady Listen. We supposed to have a 10-minute
I
went
know,
20.
right? It's cool. I know what time it is, Honcho. You ain't got to explain nothing to me. Bye.
Well,
but I'm glad you back up and running.
Yes.
Love y'all. Y'all have a great night.
All right, Miss Lady Listen. I appreciate you calling in and sharing your thoughts.
You know it. All right.
Bye. Viagra. Look, you just said I wasn't that old, and then now you're talking about I need some Viagra. Golly, Miss. I don't even know. I don't even know I don't know if I can trust your word. Prepaid, what's the motherfucking deal? I see Big M in the building. Who else did I miss? Shout out Miss B Moore. Shout out Miss Bad and Bougie. Broderick was in here for a hot second. I think he dipped out trying to go for round 2. So, yeah, there's that. Shelly, why don't you call in and share something with us? It's been a minute since you've called in and said something. Well, interested in hearing what you have to say about your castle and your penthouse on the east side and all of that stuff, the shenaniganery that you've been talking about. Yes. Shout out to Jason S, man. That's craziness. So, yeah, that's no, I don't think there was anything positive about it. I just said that people are engaging in it, people are participating in it now. Like I say, from a quote unquote polyamorous or not, is it polygamy? I don't know. It's too many fucking terms out there these days. So my deal is, like I said, talking about one man, 2 women, and we establish a mutual relationship. I don't see anything wrong with that. Of course I don't. I told y'all at the beginning of the stream that I'm a misogynist, and I'm okay with that. I still love y'all. I still love the ladies. I'm not hating on y'all, but what may work for me may not work for y'all. I told you I'm a cult leader and I'm going to the farm. So, hey, I'm going to need to procreate. I got started late. And so, I may have to, multiply. We don't die, we multiply. So instead of, having a couple every few years, just line them up, knock them all down at once, and bam, instant family, instant basketball team, I win, right? So, extend the den. What about the mixer crew? How rude. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
Bad and Bougie.
Miss Bad and Bougie. How are you this evening?
No, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm excellent. I'm doing well.
Wow. This was an interesting conversation. I woke up from my nap and I was like, oh, wow.
Okay. So, what are your thoughts on it? What do you find particularly interesting about this conversation?
That you would want to have a polyamorous relationship.
Like I say, yeah. Like I say, I got to make sure I'm using the definition right, because I might be saying the wrong things, but because there's so many different versions of this. But yeah, I would not. I don't think that I would be opposed. Like I said, if we all have a common understanding, we have a common goal, and we all trying to reach the same pinnacle. Why not? Why? What's wrong with that?
But you think it would be just all peace and love, like each woman have her own bedroom, and you just split your time up 7 days a week for all these women.
No. See, this is what it is, right? So, like, say, Too Deep. I've just discovered this thing I didn't know existed. I learned about it like last week, maybe the week before last. There's this thing called an Alaskan king bed. That bitch is huge, right? And so I didn't know. I knew about California kings. I never knew about Alaskan king. So get the Alaskan king bed. We can all sleep. I think we could probably go 4 deep in there, but they all have to sleep on like one side. I need like my own side because women sleep wild. But and so we can all sleep in the same bed. But when it's each of them, they get their own individual time when their time is due, and and I think it works. Everybody gets what they need, and then like I say, everybody has their own area in which they contribute. One may be an excellent cook. One may handle the budget better or be a better whatever, and so everybody contributes. We all benefit.
So in this Alaskan king, you could either roll over this way or that way, and they all gonna be good with that.
No, but I'm not saying I wouldn't. Unless this is a different kind of thing. If I'm feeling like the king of Zamunda, then hey, that's one thing. But like I said, I'm not with the whole everybody love everybody thing. Like, if it's going to be me, it's going to be my attention. So, like I say, I would give them their own personal one-on-one attention individually. And I wouldn't have to sit there and say, oh, you have to watch and this. I mean, there would be other activities that they could do, during those times. There would be an alternate bedroom or two. Yeah, I mean, there'd be an alternate bedroom or two. Hey, go watch a little TV, go watch some Netflix or something too. Go. I'm sure they got a new season or something out. Go start watching the new season or whatever, and then But now, if y'all all want to if you want to watch, if you into that type of stuff, that's fine. But there's no. This is all about me here. This is not about y'all engaging with y'all. That's not the play. This is about me.
Okay.
If you want to be an assistant, fluffer or whatever. Hey, I'm with the freaky shit. It's whatever. We can wild out. So it's so. But ultimately, everybody gets their time. Everybody gets their due. Yeah.
Well, then why were you so against the young lady that just called and said about the two men? I mean, why couldn't she be in the bed with the Alaskan bed with the two guys?
The magnetism is all off. It doesn't work. It's a different ball game. With that, like I said, but everybody has their own set of rules. Everybody has their own rule book. That works in her set of rules. Doesn't necessarily, translate into my set of rules. So, like I said, there's only one star, but in her rule book, she's the star. So, if that star status, if that star treatment, then that's what she gets. In my rule book, like I say,
that could never happen.
No, it doesn't.
That's
work.
Your role. Well, this is how I feel. I feel like I don't think a man being with me, I don't think he would have the time nor the energy to have 2 or 3 other women, or even one other woman. I just don't think it's physically or mentally possible. And then I don't. Like in your world, how you described it, it sounds so wonderful, okay? However, I know women are catty, and I'm assuming these are black women, since, or at least some of them may be.
Yeah.
So, jealousy is going to creep in. Let's be realistic. If I just saw or even thought that, my man was doing something, it might drive me to that angry black woman stage. There's no way I could live in a house with other women and we all, you know what I'm saying, with that man. So I think it would depend on the woman. Maybe, because I've heard, like the last young lady said, kind of like, I don't feel like it. Go be with her or what have you. Some women are like, there's another YouTube, it's a woman, and she talks about that. She's like, let the other woman do all the dirty work. Let her do all the, excuse my French, fucking and sucking, and let her do all that. As long as you're the main woman, it doesn't matter if you have side women. So that's her frame of mind and frame of thinking. But I think I'm more like you in a sense of, this is my show, okay? And my show, I have to be, you know what I'm saying? Or I have to, a lot of people used to ask me when my ex-husband was playing football, like, he probably out here sleeping with all these women and blah, blah, blah. And even throughout our marriage or our divorce, either he was just very good at it, but I never caught him or doing anything.
Oh, because black men don't cheat.
No, we're not going to do that.
They don't. It's a proven fact. It's statistically proven that black men do not cheat.
Oh, my God. So 99% of them do. And I'm not saying that he didn't. I'm not sitting here
100% don't.
Blinders on.
100%
but I'm just saying he would never know, because he knows I'm that type of woman that, I'm the star of my show, just like you said, old girl's the star of her show, and you're the star of your show. And in my show, it could only be one person, and I'm not the woman to say, let her do all the dirty work. No, I want to do it. I'm not the woman to be like, like old girl said, let him, do, I'm tired tonight. No, I'm never too tired, what I'm saying, to please my man. That's just how I work. So, yeah, the multiple, being one of multiple women, I just don't see how that can work for me. But like you said, to each his own. We just heard somebody say that they would be down with it. So, look at. Well, I don't even want to bring him up, but R. Kelly, he had a gang of women that all agreed that they would travel together and they would all keep their head down and all that crazy shit they was doing. So, I guess there's somebody for everybody. So it's some women that I think probably would be happy as your what do they call it when you're multiple wives?
Yeah, look, I say we're a conglomerate. You know, we are a corporation, and like I said, we're all working together as a team for our mutual success and advancement of our status. We'll leave it like that. And so, you know, but I mean, my thing is, and that's part of it. One, you choose wisely. You don't go out here and get some reckless, overly aggressive known ghetto hood rat who will fight at the drop of a hat for anything. You know what I'm saying? So you got to have a woman who is understanding, who is willing to be down with the program. Two, you have to, well, actually, number one, you have to be the proper leader. You know, and they have to believe in your guidance. They have to believe in your leadership. They have to believe in you, number one. And so if I don't provide that, if I don't give that, a woman is not going to accept that. You know, I'm not going to accept this nonsense from you. I can go have my own dude or go do whatever I want to, give my part of my own program. But if I'm establishing that I provide more than enough value to her, and she can accept the fact that I still provide that value, even if I entertained the company of an additional woman, even if that woman lived in the home and took part in the resources and the procreational practice activities, that she would accept that. So I mean, that has to be a sign of that you are. She views you in that light. Because I mean, if a woman will accept you, then she will follow. She will accept a lot of things. But again, you have to be a particular type of guy. So I don't think you're not going to sit here and just.
So let me ask you this:
Yes.
What if she says, "I love you. I'm down for this. I want my spot on the Alaskan King." However, you're busy a lot of the time because you know you have all these other women.
Absolutely not.
So what if I have me?
No. Not in the rule book. I mean, it's not in the rule book. She will be given, you know, like when you go to a new job, they have orientation, right? Okay, there are rules that you can and cannot do, you know. And what we're doing here in this business is advancing this business, and the business is Honcho Incorporated, or our corporation that we were establishing on the farm in wherever, somewhere in the middle of Texas. And you know, you can't go out deviating. You can't be trying to advance another business because that's taken away from what we have going on within our corporation. So that would not be allowed. That would be established early on in the rule book. And like I say, and to be a proper leader, I would have to make sure that the time is properly given, the attention is properly given. You know, all of these things have to be maintained fair and square, and nobody is placed, you know, above the other. You know, and I think that's just, you know, part of the job. That's part of your job as a leader, that everybody receives equal treatment. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to handle it. It's going to deteriorate. So if I want this thing to be what it should be, then I have to do my part on my behalf. It's not like I'm just saying, oh, I need to get to lay up with two women. I should get to have all this. No, I understand that there are additional roles, there are additional things that I would have to do for this to be a successful thing. Now, in reality, I'm talking all this shit tonight. I don't want to deal with one woman's nonsense, much less 2-3 women's nonsense. So yeah, it sounds good, and I'm making this to be entertaining and to be enjoyable. I'm not. I mean, in reality, I'm not particularly opposed to it, but in reality, I know I wouldn't want to deal with the nonsense. I'm telling you, like mentally right now, and looking at women and the status of society and everything that's going on, I'd rather be. Well, George Clooney ended up fucking up too, but I'd rather be Hugh Hefner than any of the rest of this stuff. Like, it's just like I don't even think I want to be Hugh, because it's like I say, it's too much other shit going on these days. Like I think right now, focusing on myself and solo and advancing myself is the most important thing right now. I in reality have no concern with what's going on with American women right now. And so it's just trying to wife up 2 American women, not like now. If I start going international and you know, doing some overseas stuff, then I might start opening up, you know, I might have to translate the rule book so that they can comprehend it. You know, I might be with
So
that.
let me ask you a question.
Yes.
If you out on your first date, right, with this international woman, and
Yes.
you y'all are, you know, talking, would you tell her off top about the rule book? Or would the rule book come in after y'all fell in love? Like, or I don't even know if people fall in love anymore. But would you tell a woman about the rule book off top? Like, look, I'm really digging you. However, later on down the line, we may be adding some people to this. I mean, is that something you would tell somebody going in?
I mean, I would have to pick her brain, and then prior to early on, like I'm not going to hit you with any surprises. We're going to be open and upfront, and let her know what my goals or my thoughts are on certain things, and I would have to gauge her response, and depending on how important that was to me. And again, if she was just some super special magical unicorn mermaid, which doesn't exist, so no, then maybe I would reconsider certain things. But if I'm saying this is something that I'm taking seriously, I can say, hey, well, maybe I'm going to be looking for multiple this, that, or whatever, then I would pass it by her. And if it's not a suitable, not a compatible situation, well, please give me back my copy of the rule book. It was nice that you worked here, and maybe next time. But like I say, right
You'd
now,
be like, check.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I say,
And we're going Dutch.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I'd finish out the situation. I wouldn't be on some shit like that. I would just know that, okay, long term, this would not be ideal. But I would present certain things up front. I mean, I have no problem. But I mean, what do I have to lose, especially on the first date or just meeting somebody? If we're not compatible, then we're just not compatible.
I don't know, because I'm just thinking about if I was single and somebody sat me down and we having a nice dinner and they like, okay, yeah, I'm really digging you too. Later on, there might be other women. I would just be like, am I being punked? Like, I would be looking around for cameras or whatever.
Okay. No, but I mean, that would just be something like, I would pass certain things on. Like I said, depending on what my intentions were. My intentions may change. They may be solely committed to something, but like I say, I would definitely see what opportunities are available. What do we have for growth within our company, if she is hired on. So I mean, that's a thing to consider. But then again, like I say, she may be the total package, may have everything I need, and I don't have to be concerned or worry about that. And so at that point, it's kind of whatever, right? So again, I think it just
missed your show when you talked about threesomes. So would you do the one woman and then bring in the occasional friend?
So what do we mean by the like if she has a friend or like
whoever has a friend, however she came about, would you entertain that? Like, oh, babe, let's bring somebody else into it, but just temporarily. I don't want her to be a full-on wife.
Like I said, I mean, it's a situation that can get sketchy. But if we're just doing something, we gonna wild out a little bit. Shit, why not? If she's okay with it, and I'm pretty sure I'd probably be okay with it. But again, here's my thing though. I'm not really into the whole like, is it all about me? This is what I'm concerned about. It's like, if we bring the friend in, is it all about me? Like, I don't want y'all finagling together. Oh, this is my friend, and y'all getting off. What y'all doing when I don't be around? Like what kind of shit going on there? Saying all this weird shit. What y'all really getting into? And what is the friends relationship situation like? You going over there and hanging out. What she got? What y'all got? What kind of freaky shit y'all get into? So it's a lot of questions when it comes to something like that. But if it came down to it and it's all about me, then yeah, I'm with that shit. But if y'all doing some other shit, I'm not really concerned about that. So. It's me being selfish.
In your book, they can't have a side man or woman.
No.
Okay. Well, Honcho, it's been really good getting to know you a little better.
Yeah. There are many ways in which I am very selfish, and that may possibly be one of them. So, and that's if I'm taking it serious. Now, if I'm not taking you serious, and it's just some old, I don't give a fuck what you doing. Just don't. Leave me with no long-term penalties, but if it's something serious, then yeah, then I'm gonna look at it in a different way.
And then you were talking about procreation. If you have this Alaskan bed with these 4 women, what if all 4 of them get pregnant at once? You know what I'm saying?
Then that's shit. It's convenient. We just gonna make it happen. We're gonna be one big happy family. You know what I'm saying? All in the family, all that good shit. Like I say, then the kids, they'll all be friends. They don't have to be hanging out with none of these modern day weirdo kids. They're all each other's friends. They're all the same age. You know what I'm saying? Their mamas all know each other. It's all good. Like, and I can teach them the ways of the Honcho, and they don't want to have to get poisoned by modern society, right? And then like I say, we're gonna be on the farm. They're gonna be working, so that's free labor for the kids. As soon as they old enough to carry some shit, they're gonna be carrying some shit. They're gonna be working. As soon as they can walk, they're gonna start carrying some. They're gonna start learning some shit. So, like I say, it's one wife can be the teacher wife. One wife gonna be the cooking wife. They can all divide the duties, and so that way it's not too much on any one of them. And, everybody benefits. Everybody wins. So one of them is, babysitting time. One of them is teaching time. One of them is cooking time. One of them is homekeeping time. And everybody just has their own responsibilities. And it's not too much stress on any one of them. And they can discuss their problems with each other. And they can console each other. They can be each other's counselor, advisor, shoulder to cry on, or whatever you want to be. And they're all there because they all understand because they're all going through the same thing. And they can rotate duties, I'm sure, so it doesn't get boring and they don't get tired, right? So I think it works, man. I think it definitely works.
Oh shit! For the first time, I'm speechless.
What?
Yeah.
If that's the case, I have done my job this evening.
Well, I'm gonna let somebody else go ahead and call. This has been very interesting. Very interesting.
Okay, well, as always, Miss Van Bougie, aka Girl 6, it is wonderful to hear from you, and I thank you for calling in this evening.
All right, I'll jump back in the chat.
All
Bye.
right, good evening. Shout out to Miss Bad Bougie. Let's say we get one, maybe two more calls in this evening, and then I'm giving Mixer Crew their love because I'm not going to make. They got clean draws. If they ain't got clean draws, they can't get in. We'll take one, maybe two more calls. Like I said, we'll wind it up. Make sure the Mixer Crew gets some love. Like I said, I got Texas Talk tomorrow. I don't know. I'm gonna figure out what we're gonna do on Sunday. I know it's a lot of football on Sunday, but I'll definitely have a sauce at 7. But we'll figure out what we do for. Sunday may be a day we can. I don't think we're not gonna double in, but we'll figure something out. We'll figure it all out. I don't know, man. You might have to hang up and then call back in, Big M, because it's not showing as anybody's on the call. Now again, y'all gotta realize I'm talking a lot of shit. I don't want to deal with the problems that come with having to entertain multiple entities. That's it. One is enough. None is better. 2 or 3, that's just crazy shit. So, what's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this evening?
One queen bee per hive. Fuck that.
One queen bee per hive. How are you doing this evening, Miss Grace?
I'm doing well. I don't know if I ever told you that time when I went to Senegal. I was dating this guy, and we went to his sister's house because they have multiple wives. So we went to his sister Aya's house, and I was so freaking nosy because my daughter gets irritated because I'm a nosy bitch. Yes, I am. I'm the one peeking out windows and shit. Yes, I am. But I was like running around there like a human question mark because I wanted to know about this situation of this man having these multiple wives. And what I learned was, it was backwards to me. He had his sister Aya was wife number 1. Then there was another woman that was wife number 2. I kept my eye on them to see if they got along and things. They seemed like they did. They had separate bedrooms. And then there was wife number 3 in training. She was the young girl that was on the side of the house on her hands and knees, and she was grinding some food or doing something. And what I learned was, whoever got to sleep with the man the night before is the one that does the cooking, has the honor of doing the cooking the next day. I said, fuck that. That's backwards. If I slept with you and did my work, then I shouldn't have to cook and do more work the next day.
What? How's it work? How's it work if you're on the receiving end of such a wonderful interaction between two human beings? How does that work?
Yeah.
But I like that. I might add that to the rule book, though. That's actually a pretty good. That might be a pretty good strategy.
You might like it because don't forget, my people are right from 400 or 500 miles off the coast of there, and my mother didn't like her people's mentality. The greenhorns that would come here, my mother would imitate nice together because they do that sneaky shit. Because and my nieces now, my great niece is married to a Muslim, and he goes back to Africa for like a month. And I said, I guarantee you, he's got at least one wife over there because they all do. They have wives, and they go there for like 1 or 2 months, and then they come back here again. They have wives, but I cannot share. I might share my pistachios, but I don't share my man. But that freaking ain't happening. Nope. I had one guy that pissed me off with that cheating shit, and I turned his car and diamond in the back, some rooftop, digging the scene with a gangster lean. That ain't happening. No, I don't play that cheating action. You know what I mean? And not even an open relationship. That's not me. But for where it works, good for them. You know, because I thought it was cute. Dakota's story where he said his wife and the girl that they had matching sundresses, and it drove him wild.
Yeah, well, that would be a sight to come home to.
Yeah, that was cute. That was cute. But I'm not going to stay on the phone, but I'm going to do a call out real quick.
Okay.
Can I call somebody out?
Go for it.
I'm going to call out my girl, Sweetberry, or Sourberry. I love the girl, but I saw what you tried to do to me that time when you tried to get everybody in the den. You said, let's go against Kay Grace. I was like, what the fuck? Let me tell you something that you didn't notice about me. I don't run in packs. Never did, never will. And if I ever had to run in a pack, I'd be the leader of the pack. You know what I mean? So now that we got that out the way, we got that understanding, don't try to turn everybody against me. I was watching to see who was going to go for it, and no one did. Because I'm one of those people, I never did. Ever since I was a kid, I can stand alone with a room full of people and go against a whole room full of people. That's me. So don't do that, girl. Okay. Stay on my good side.
Okay. Yeah, you can't trust me.
Oh, my God. I loved her. I was looking out for her, trying to tell her when the pistachios are ready and everything. Break out of here. But now she's still my girl, but now she knows I don't. I do not do that. Okay. You know I'm old school, Honcho.
Yeah, that's the best way
like
to be.
James used to say, James used to say, you know, it's strange. He said, you're like the old and the new. You know, traditional in a lot of ways, old-fashioned. You know what I mean? I'll laugh all the time, but everybody would tell you I'm moody and very serious about life and serious about things. But, okay, I'm going to listen and to everybody else.
All right. Well, Ms. Grace, I appreciate you calling in and sharing your thoughts this evening.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right. Let me find out. Sweetberry is a Kevin Durant, a snake. You're a real KD, Sweetberry. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
What's the deal, man?
What's going on? This is toxic femininity.
This is not toxic femininity.
No, I know. You guys just sound alike, so I had to do it. What's on your mind, Big L?
I figured that you're super racist and just assume all Mexicans are the same.
I'm trying to think. Y'all are the only two Mexicans. Is he a Mexican too? Is he Hispanic also?
Yeah.
Okay. I assume that y'all are the only two Hispanics I know that sound like that. So every other Hispanic has a little bit more twinge of accent. Maybe it's a New Mexico thing. I don't know.
Could be.
Yeah.
So this is what I find weird about your topic. Okay. I don't think that open relationships are in any way positive. But if in the United States, why is it that only, like, the vast majority of, like, polygamous relationships usually come from white people, but around the world outside of the United States, it's completely opposite. It's usually minorities or colored people. Whether it's Hispanics, black, whatever the race may be.
That's interesting. I never really thought about it like that. Maybe because, here in America, I guess, with white people being the majority. And here's the thing that's white people like to do, like some of the more strange white people. They like to adopt behaviors from, like, other cultures and then implement them. And so what I mean, not necessarily cultural appropriation, but they'll take things and just do it. And it's like, I don't really care, but I noticed, so, like, maybe I don't know where the first multi-wife situation thing took place, but somebody was probably white. They said, you know what?
Dollar
like that.
bills,
I'm
y'all.
going to use that. So,
well, here's what I like. I don't know if this is what it is, but to me, it would be that they actually have the ability to support multiple women.
Do they?
Financially.
Okay. And so do you think that
But either way, I think it's crazy.
Do you think in other cultures where maybe it's a different economy, so those people who are participating in the more I guess because I'm trying to make sure I got the definition right. I think polygamous is like the one with the two or having the multiple wives or whatever. And I think there's like poly something else, and there's a bunch of poly whatevers. And I'm really mainly talking about the man with two women, but because in those communities, in those
polygamous
countries,
is just having multiple wives.
Okay, that's polygamous. Go polygamous, team polygamous. But my thing is like, so with those guys being able to afford it in those countries, and that's the dominant race of those countries. So you see that's why other races are doing it. And then in America, with that being the dominant race in this country, that's why you see more white couples doing it.
I think that in other countries that financial stability isn't as necessarily as important as it is in America. Like in other countries, people grow their own food, you know what I mean, raise their own livestock, things like that. Whereas in America, nobody does that anymore. So you have to be financially stable to be able to have multiple wives. But so you're pro polygamy?
If they can afford it, they can have it. Go for it. I've really been mainly cracking jokes.
I'm talking about you.
Oh no,
like you personally.
I've just been talking shit tonight, just because I know it riles up.
No, I know. I'm just curious on your belief.
I don't care. Like I'm not sending. Okay, let me put it like this. If I was to strike it rich and have an opportunity, say if I wanted to play catch up on the kids, and to me it would have to be like a family structure to it, like we're all working towards a common goal. But as far as just for the shits and giggles, no, I wouldn't want to. And then two, dealing with one woman is hard enough in America. Trying to have multiples, probably not. So to me, I think the cons outweigh the benefits. So I'm talking a lot of shit. But if I was to entertain in a hypothetical way, these are how the rules would flow.
So, listen, like when I was bullshitting in the chat earlier, there's a very important question you have to answer when you're taking on multiple wives.
Okay. And
Prepaid was talking about it. Mm-hmm. Like Prepaid said, if he did this, it can't be all black women. Mm-hmm. Would you have to make sure that it wasn't all one race? Would you try and unite the nation?
No, I'm not going to do that. If I was to deviate from my standard operating procedure, one of them it would either be Asian or Hispanic, and I'm leaning probably more Hispanic. And you say, why, Honcho? You why is it all POCs? What is up with that? Look, I want some authentic fucking cooking too. So if I want to get away from the fucking soul food and all the bullshit, I like Mexican food. I want some authentic Mexican food. She can whip up some tortillas and whip up some tamales and all that good stuff. Hey, we got a winner here. You know? Now, what'll happen though is the black women may get jealous because if we're going by the Africa rule where you fuck the night before, you cook the next day. I can eat a lot of Mexican food. So, you know, then there may be a little envy there. You know, if all the rest of the women are cooking the same shit, then, you know, what I need to fuck you for. But, and Asian food too, I guess, you know, I like some of the Asian shit. I like sushi and California rolls and all that extra shit. So, you know, that would be the deviation if we're playing by the food rules. But outside of that, I'd probably stay apart.
So I have a good amount of married friends, and that what you just said deviates into a totally different thing. Do you have a lot of married friends, Honcho?
Oh, do I have any married friends? I guess because, like I said, I cut a lot of people off, and so I don't think I do. I don't think like of the people that I still associate with on a frequent basis, outside of the den.
Are heathens?
Yeah, all terrible people.
No.
Long-term relationships, but no married people. I don't think outside of family, I guess.
So, I have a lot of married friends, right? And married to all different races and ethnicities, whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. Every woman in this world is crazy.
Yes,
right.
I agree. Yes,
it's just a matter of what kind of crazy you're willing to deal with in a wife.
Yes.
So. And what I've noticed is each race has a different kind of crazy, right? So I have a lot of friends, obviously I'm in New Mexico, that are married to white women. right?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Or are married to Hispanic women, sorry. Hispanic women are by far, well, at least here, the craziest women that you could ever marry. And then you have pretty much every other race, and then you have white women. Like my friends that are married to white women, let's say they get in trouble one night. The worst thing they're getting done is like they're not getting to cuddle that night.
Yeah.
They have to sleep on the other side of the bed that night.
Yeah.
That's the worst case scenario for them. Like, let's say I piss my wife off, right?
Yeah.
My wife's Hispanic, so she's clearly outside of her mind. Like, if I piss her off, she might stab me in my sleep.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
She might not kill me, but she'll stab me. So, like, it's just a matter of what kind of... So if you're planning on having multiple wives with multiple cultures,
yeah.
And by what I can tell in this chat, like earlier, black women seem to be just as crazy as Hispanic women. Yeah. You should probably not put those two together, bro.
But see, here's the thing. I know how to neutralize black women. Now, the Hispanic thing, in my youth, I've interacted with, but I don't think I've ever had a long-term, serious relationship with one. So that might be, I don't know, unless you like consider like Afro-Latina or whatever you call that. I don't know if that's like a mix of both, because that was a particular kind of crazy. And I don't think, now that I thought about it, I don't think I want to get into that. But I can neutralize black women, so I'm not really worried about that situation. I've been around them my whole life. You know, I can work with that. Like, as much shit as they talk, as all the stuff, I can handle that. That's not an issue. Now, the Hispanic thing, my Spanish is obviously not that good, so I may not be able to defend myself in an argument properly. There may be a miscommunication if she chooses to take it to another level. It would just take a little practice, but I think eventually I can get it all figured out.
See, so now I already know you're dumb. Like, you're super fucked up. Let me explain to you why. Maybe that's, like I said, there's not a lot of black women here. I've never dated a black woman.
Yeah.
I've dated a Hispanic woman. I've been with my wife, like I said, for 14 years.
Yes.
13, 14 years. God. So there's no figuring Hispanic women out. There's none. There's not like a neutralization tactic for Hispanic women. Like, you could be sleeping and think everything is fine, and she could have a dream you cheated on her, and she'll punch you. Like, you don't even actually have to cheat. She might hit you in your sleep because she thought you were doing something wrong.
Yeah, that's definitely a problem.
So there's no like, oh, I'm gonna neutralize the Hispanic woman. You should probably go with black and Asian at that point.
Yeah, all Asian people know martial arts, so you know if that gets out of hand, you know I can't.
Yeah, but they're used to a patriarchy.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. That definitely makes sense. I mean, I'm in Houston, lots of Hispanic food, but I can always go out and buy some Hispanic food. I use the Asian woman and her martial arts to help me neutralize the black woman.
Or you could just do all white women. You marry all white women.
No, that's probably not going to happen.
And they are like that happens now, like right, like all the polyamorous or all the multiple wife scenarios are usually white women in America, right? So they're kind of used to it. You're good.
I mean, they're engaged.
Nobody's mad at each other.
But let's be real. Let's be honest, man. Like a lot of and this is what I'm saying. A lot of the polyamorous, a lot of that shit is into some. It's usually the weirdos. You know what I mean? And I probably have to be the one to introduce and indoctrinate women into this new lifestyle. I can't go for one who's already with the shit. She's probably weird and has probably been around the block more than 5 or 6 times. So, you know, I got to be able to indoctrinate. I got to put my own, my own cult message in my mind.
Honcho, you're gross. Do you want me to explain to you why you're gross? You just described like dating like 20-year-old minority women that don't have dads. That's what you're trying to do. You're like, I want to be able to teach her how to act. So she has to be young enough and she has to be dumb enough for me to indoctrinate her with my beliefs.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm okay with that. If that's the route I have to go, if this is where I have to go in life, then hey, well,
This is what you got to do.
I mean, you got to do what you got to do, man. I mean, this is important. This is about preserving genetics and procreation and all that other stuff. And this is what I got to do. You know, if it's for the sake of the future.
Honcho, this is what's gonna happen. You're gonna be you're gonna be in your chat, like getting these girls to send you these ass pics that we were talking about last time. And then Chris Hansen is gonna show up at your pad and be like, "Did you know that was a 16-year-old girl?" Like some weird shit like that is gonna end up happening, bro. You need to chill.
When Chris Hansen shows up in my house,
you're gonna be like,
it'll be a different news story.
You're gonna be like, I swore she said she was 19.
Well, I'm just gonna keep receipts, man. As long as I got receipts, I'm all right.
Send me a picture of your ID first, woman.
Yes. I need identification. There's been a few den folks who have confirmed with identification. So I think that if that's the route I gotta go, I have to go.
So you're just to wrap this up, you're pro polygamy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess you could say, you know, in the right circumstance, yes.
You want to start a polygamous cult?
Yes.
Where you marry multiple multicultural women and put them all in one king bed.
Yes, Alaskan king. That's a huge bed. But they'll have individual rooms too for, you know, personal time, meditation, thinking, that time of the month. But here's the problem though, because they say when women are all around each other, that their cycles start to like
stop.
Yeah,
just stop.
I'm just
Don't
saying.
go.
And
just
so,
stop.
That's a terrible problem, right?
Wildfire.
But that's a terrible problem, like, and I couldn't deal with it. That's why I'm not all with the whole thing, because they say once they kind of hang around each other, they all like time with each other and all that other stuff. I can't deal with that. Then that's when you got to go find another wife, and so the cycle never stops.
Bro, that's what I told Prepaid in the chat. I saw a meme yesterday that said women have so much evil in their blood, God has to drain it once a month.
That almost sounds very accurate. Women are crazy. I love all the women in the den. I do. I love y'all. Y'all are wonderful people. But y'all got some crazy in you. Every woman does, and it's okay. You know, it's just like that. But that might need to be that may need to be taken as fact.
All right, bro. Well, I'm gonna let you get to somebody else.
All right, big girl, man. I appreciate your calling, man. It's good to hear from you, man. All right.
Later, man.
All right. I think we're gonna get ready to wind down on that one, man. They say we got to get it in for the mixer crew. Yeah, I'm talking big shit tonight. I'm trying to fire folks up. Look, goddamn it, I'm mad from last night, so I have to entertain myself this evening because of everything that was missed yesterday. So we just having a good time. Don't take me too serious. Serious topics, take me serious. Shit like this, take me like 53% serious. You know what I'm saying? So, you know. Oh, I don't believe Miss Chris. I haven't taken a shit in days. It's been several days. So maybe I'm one of the good ones, right? Maybe I'm one of the good ones, right? You know, since I haven't shit in days, so I'm not that full of shit. But man, I just want to say I appreciate you. I was very upset that last night, you know, didn't get to take place as it should have. If you know, I'm just upset, but glad everything's back on track this evening. So shout out to all of y'all. Shout out to everybody who showed some love this evening. Make sure you're following the Den on the proper socials. Ed Honcho HTX on Instagram. Ed Honcho HTX on Twitter. That's where I keep, you know, most of the updates and things like that. Den Show Live on Facebook. And then like the Facebook page, become a part of the Facebook group. If you add somebody to the Facebook group, just tell them to answer the question. I don't care if the answer is yes or no. Just tell them to answer the question so at least I know that they'll be somewhat participatory. Because people who tend to get added and they don't answer any of the questions, they tend not to like really participate. So, you know, I want to make sure it's active and with the people who are in there are sharing and commenting, whatever else is going on. So, you know, so, you know, why I gotta be full of it, man? I'm just, you know, it's.
You can't forget the Den.
Stunner B, what's the motherfucking deal? Welcome to the deal. Man, wow. With the kick though, appreciate the love, that Stunner B. Well, y'all know what that means. We gotta keep the conversation going for a little while. So, you know, and like I said, just y'all not being here. Now, I was very frustrated. I was angry. The chat was still going live, so shout out to y'all for, you know, for keeping it alive in the chat, man. That is a way to kick the dough in, a subscribe and a super chat. That is appreciate the love. Oh, okay. Well, I guess we look. I guess we gotta toot the line up in a little while. I mean, it's a scam. It might be. We have to see. We'll see what's going on, Stunner B. That's interesting. Are we getting handled here? Let's see. But I don't know. It might be Heidi. If it's a scam, Heidi did it. You know, Heidi is the queen of scammers. That's where she got to where she is now in life, scamming all of it. Nah, but shout out. But here's my thing, man. When it comes down, let me properly explain myself. I guess that we could do that, right? Am I against it? If you like it, if it works for you, do what you do. I'm not anti anybody living their life. You want to be in an open relationship, if it works for you, yeah. Me personally, open relationship, not gonna work because all this free range, everybody love everybody, not gonna work for me. Am I a possessive person? Absolutely not. If I trust someone, I take them at what they say. So if I'm with you and I trust you, you say you're gonna be somewhere, I'm gonna take you at that. Now, if you don't do that and you do something different and you out doing whatever else you're doing, then, well, that's on your character. It has nothing to do with me. You know, if you're dishonest, that's you being dishonest. If you are being unfaithful, that's you being unfaithful. It has nothing to do with me. So if I'm with somebody, like I said, I'm not going to hawk you down. Well, you said you were going to be here, this, and or you were doing this, and this. Again, if you say where you say you were, that is what it is. Until I see signs of dishonesty or until I see signs of mistrust or so for a reason that I probably shouldn't trust you, then that's when I say, hey, you know, well, I'm either going to be more withdrawn or I'm going to be, you know, like I said, I'm going to make sure that I confirm my beliefs. And if my beliefs are confirmed, then, well, you know, more than likely we're not going to continue the situation. Again, about the star of the show. Now that part I was pretty serious about. Like I say, but at the same time, if I'm with you, you'll be the star of the show too. So that's kind of how that goes. Let me see. Now the polygamous thing, like I said, now if I was filthy rich, if I was just filthy rich and maybe not committed and really just want to say, hey, you know what, I got a late start on this whole pops thing. Let me just kick out a bunch of kids real quick. I would entertain it. Because if I want to get it all done, you know, at one time, if I was at the point where I could definitely care for all of them at the same time and, you know, get everything handled, like, then I would do that. I'm not opposed to it. You know, I don't know about eggs and surrogates and all that other, those other unscientific methods. Those are a little wild in my opinion. Let me see. What else did I mention with the polygamy? But then again, like I said, with the polygamy thing, though, it would have to be literally like we'd have to be on the same page, talking about building something, a mutual support system. But as far as them engaging with one another, that's a no-go. Like I said, I'm not into all that extra shit. But I'm telling you about this Alaskan. Have you heard of the Alaskan king? Have you heard about the Alaskan king size bed? I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's a beautiful thing. It's an amazing thing. It's huge. It's designed for this kind of lifestyle. Yeah, I mean, there will be a rule book, right? With kids in open man, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, and I remember reading something from a person who was a kid in an open relationship, and how their parents were like, their parents kind of had some issues, like, you know, especially when you're seeing one parent at home while the other parent's out getting it in. You know what I'm saying? And they are, you know, dad's at home looking miserable while mom's getting ran through by Jimmy, John, and Jason. And, you know, it is what it is. I think sometimes people get into it not realize, especially I think men get into the open relationship thinking, oh, well, I'm going to go bang all these shit. Well, it's not going to quite work like that. You know, women have easier access to all of those things. Yes, this bed. No. Alaskan king crab. No, not Alaskan king crab. I'm talking about the Alaskan king bed. If there's an Alaskan king bed, it's huge. It's like bigger than the California king. And so, all right, Miss Lady Licious, appreciate you coming through and calling in this evening. So, like I said, it's a wonderful. I will have one, even if it's just me in the bed. I will have one. And, you know, like I say, and we live in a day and age where people think, you know, a lot of it is joking, a lot of it is cracking jokes and all that other stuff. But I'm dead serious. Right now, it's about me and only me. Going into this new decade, that's the only focus that I have. I'm not, like I say, entertaining or looking for any kind of stuff. I talk a lot of shit, but I really have no interest in anything that's going on outside of myself right now. But I mean, that just means to relationship-wise. As far as the den folk, you know, I care and I'd like to know what's going on in your world. And I love talking to y'all. This is a very important thing to me. But as far as, like I say, on the dating scene, I'm not on the dating scene. I'm on the focus scene. This year, I plan to pick up a couple of new skill sets, things that I've been should have done probably 10 fucking years ago. But you know, just to open up my abilities, I plan on getting some things done this year to just open up some new opportunities, you know, for myself. So, say what percent serious am I right now as far as off the market, not being in the market? Oh, I'm 100% serious about that. I'm not concerned, but like, trust me. You got to understand, like, I'm 35 years old. So from my perspective is, let's be honest, in any relationship, especially, like I said, I don't really like young chicks. They're especially this generation is really, the 20, 25, that area is terrible. I don't like younger women, period, anyway. But if I went younger, they're terrible. Once you get to 25 plus, each year the likelihood of her having kids is significantly increased. Like I said, we talked about being picky the other day, and so the Denfo, or the mixer crew, the Mighty Morphin mixer crew, told me that I was too picky, and at this point I'm willing to accept that. I'm A-okay with that. You know, I have a particular preference in look and the way she carries herself. I have a particular preference in that I probably will not ever entertain a single mom again, or a woman with children. And that, I know some people get offended. Well, why not? There's some good ones. And yes, there are. But it's not for me. If I've done so far at this point not to have had it, if I do decide to, I'm not going to deal with any excess or any complications or anything unnecessary. So I won't do that again. But again, then that slims the chances significantly, right? The older I get, the chances are significantly decreased. Yes, fupa versus ass ratio, you know. And I was inquiring because I was trying to do a Lizzo ratio, but so, you know, but that's what I say. So right now, I don't see that being a thing. I really don't see that option. And then, like I say, there's a certain personality, there's a certain set of standards and beliefs that I have that would have to be at least remotely close to one another. You know, but here's my thing though. Can I be faulted for decisions that I've made that may not be in line with the same decisions that you made? And again, you have women who are married and they've had kids. That's fair and square. You have women who were never married and they got a bunch of kids and whatever else. You have women who were in relationships that were steady, happy family. The man passed away or whatever it may have been. So there's so many different circumstances. But I know the one tried and true thing for me is that I haven't left my seat anywhere where it didn't belong. And so if I choose not to entertain that, or because as a man, and I've said this before, as a man, when you get into a relationship with someone who has children, you have to not only gain their love, you have to gain the love of that child. You have to deal with more than one personality when you engage in that, because it's a package deal when I'm only asking you to embrace me for me. So there's a different set of circumstances. So like I say, there's a list of things in which I would have to be checked off. I mean, probably the list would have to be like 8 of the 10 things, 9 of the 10 things being checked off for me to even consider it. And so being too picky, maybe so. Self-defense mechanism, maybe so. Preferences from experience, maybe so. But that's the way I see it right now. And my priority is right now is focused on making me a better person, engaging in more learning, more development of myself. We live in a world where there's so many opportunities, and I should be taking advantage of a lot more of those opportunities by, advancing my skill set. Sometimes you got to get paperwork that proves that you have these certain skill sets. So I plan on acquiring a few things here within this next year, and seeing what I can make out of it, just for the sake of seeing what I can do with it. All right, Shannon Jones, the bot, and so yeah, it is what it is. But can you fault me for having my own personal preferences, right? It is what it is. And if I find someone that suits all of those things, then hey, maybe that's the one. If not, oh well. At this point, I am not concerned about being alone for the rest of my life. I have no fear, no qualms about that. We heard you trained the donkeys for the donkey show, but I have no fears and no qualms about that. Like, I've accepted that, because just the way society is, the way things are, and what I want to make of myself. If these things don't coincide on the timeline, it is what it is. If they do, then great, that's a bonus. But at this point, there's so much of the world out there to be conquered, then I need to go and get that. But with that being said, it is, appreciate it, Bad and Bougie. It is 12:20. Here's the deal. We're going to get ready to wrap it up. 12:30, I'll be on the mixer. Got to refill my water. I'm drinking a shit ton of water. And so, with anything else being said, I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for coming through tonight. I appreciate y'all having participating in the conversation. I think there was a lot of energy tonight. So I thank y'all for being here. We'll be back at it tomorrow, then at 10 tomorrow. We'll mix the crew tomorrow. We might have a long, late mix the crew tomorrow, since, ain't really too worried about it. No Sunday early sauce. So we'll figure it all out. But with that being said, I appreciate each and every one of you. I'm working on that. I promise I'm working on that, Miss Just Sarah. I've been spending a little time here and on the site and some other things. I've been divvying up my time in a bunch of places. I need to start consolidating some things, I guess. But I appreciate all of y'all. I thank y'all for being here each and every night. I appreciate y'all for the support. I appreciate y'all for just, being a part of this community, man. Y'all are what makes this community so special. So with that being said, I'm chunking up a deuce. Y'all be cool like y'all be cool. But most of all, y'all ain't got to go home. Y'all got to get the fuck out of here. It is my pleasure to chop it up with y'all tonight. Thank y'all. Until tomorrow, I'm out.